Story. Have you seen Bakugo anywhere, Todoroki? Kirishima asked. He said he's going back to his room. I guess he's sleeping, he responded. Once Bakugo's absence was made obvious, the rest of the class realized someone else was missing. Wait, Ochako's missing too. Have anyone seen her since we got here? Hagakure realized as she looked around the room. Everyone heard a comment from the boy hanging in the ceiling, but before he can finish his sentence. Does that mean Bakugo and Uraraka are? Zero used his quirk to wrap his tape around Mineta once more. Do you even take the time to think what you were about to say, Mineta? Zero responded, smirking sarcastically. Everyone laughed on the banter between the two friends, only to be interrupted by Kaminari. Come to think of it, Uraraka never said a single word the entire day. Kaminari realized. How is she Sue? Yaoyorozu asked, concerned about her friend. Ribbit. Ribbit, she's been having a hard time lately, guys, please understand, Asui replied. The girls all knew what the frog girl meant by this. They understood why the young brunette never said a single word to socialize with the rest of the class. Only Iida, Todoroki and Asui were the ones who had the opportunity to speak with her. If only Midoriya was here, she would be all right, Ashido thought. The atmosphere changed. Everyone was worried about Uraraka, even Kota, who doesn't even speak very often. As the class began contemplate about Uraraka's absence on the group, Uraraka headed up to the second floor. She wasn't going to her own room. She was heading towards his room. She opened the door to Midoriya's room, and the first thing she saw was his All Might action figure collection. She whispered to herself, making a weak smile. You're such a fanboy. Uraraka scanned through the rest of the room to check whether all of his stuff was still there. She then took one of his action figures and sat on his bed. Tears started to fill her eyes until it started to roll down to her cheeks. As she stared on the action figure, she then reached out to her pocket, pulling a small All Might Netsuke keychain she got on the last Christmas they were together. You should have been here, Deku, she muttered. Back on the common area. We should look for Ochako, guys, Hagakure recommended. All of their classmates agreed and started to head up to her dorm room first. Are you forgetting something? Mineta yelled while still hanging on the ceiling. No one heard him. XD. When the class arrived on the floor where Ochako's dorm was, they checked her room and found that it was empty. Strange. Where would Uraraka go? Kirishima asked. I'm starting to think Mineta was right, Kaminari joked. An earphone jack suddenly zapped Kaminari on the ear, causing him to fall on the floor. Moron. Why would you think Ochako would be with Bakugo? Jiro objected. Moron. Why would you think Ochako would be with Bakugo? Kaminari replied while still lying face first on the floor. I'm just joking, Kyoka. You're still a moron. Jiro chuckled. I think I have an idea where she is, Aoyama suggested. The girls then realized what he meant, and asked the boys to stay where they are. I wonder where they are going, Kota asked. Yeah, why do we have to stay here? Sato responded as he carried Kaminari from the ground like a sack of potatoes. Maybe it's somewhere private, Kirishima replied. Girls' restroom perhaps, Iida suggested. The rest of the guys stayed on the fourth floor while the girls used the elevator to head to the second floor. When they arrived, they quickly headed to Midoriya's room and saw it was slightly opened. Jiro heard a faint sound of crying and decided to peek through the door and saw Uraraka. Aoyama's right, Jiro whispered. Uraraka's in Midoriya's room. She looked at the rest of the girls. Let me see. Let me see, Hagakure whispered. She saw Uraraka laying down on Midoriya's bed in tears. She's crying, you guys. We should go in and comfort her, Yaoyorozu replied silently. I don't think that's a good idea. We should do it tomorrow, guys. Ribbit. Asui responded. I think she went to Midoriya so she can have a moment alone. Kiro. Ashido then peeked through and saw Uraraka holding a Netsuke, the same one she saw fall to the floor while they were chatting on the locker room the day they got back from their hero work studies. I agree with Sue, guys. Let's give her the time to herself, Ashido whispered. As they left Midoriya's room, Uraraka began to hold the Netsuke closer to her chest as she lays down to his bed. Blank, underscore, blank, underscore, blank. Author's note. I'm sorry if you found it somewhat cringe, guys. I'm trying my best not to make it awkward. I'll stop here for now.